Hi everyone, welcome to Rishi Tarot. Thank you for tuning in. Today we will be asking Rishi what's going on with this connection. So we have 4 piles today. There's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Now you may pause the video to make your selection, and after you have done so, you may go to the allocated time slot to your reading. Now, this is a general reading, so it may not resonate on all levels. So take only what your intuition validates. Hi, Pawan. Welcome to your reading. So we will be asking Rishi today about what's going on in this connection. Now, my pile 1, it feels like you are having some difficulties in this relationship. All right, let's start with yourself. Now, it feels like this relationship has been a little stagnant recently. Despite the stalling that's going on, there seems to be a fair bit of argument between the two of you. There seems to be some kind of disagreement, and you're still conversing though. There's definitely still communication going on. Now, it feels like for the majority of my pile 1, this is a relatively new relationship. And your partner here in question is not fully committed at this point. At least he's not committed emotionally. Now, for my pile 1, where this is a more established relationship, I see that your partner is really busy with his work at the moment. He or she might have suffered some kind of external shock. It could be with respect to his career or his finances. And as a result, he's been focusing a lot of, your partner has been focusing a lot of his or her attention to his career and towards, figuring out his finances and his job. So as a result, there has been some neglect in this relationship. Now, for those who have just got into this relationship where it's a fairly new romantic connection, I see that your partner is still very much in his or her single frame of mind. So, this partner is still very much caught up in being single, independent, and alone, and very much career focused. I also see that your partner have tendencies towards being a little more domineering, authoritative, and can be a little ruthless. So when it comes to a dynamic, when it comes to a relationship, I feel like he or she, although I'm getting a sense it's more he in for the most of you, it can be hard for your partner to compromise. Now, as for yourself, my pile 1, I see that you've been trying, but you, instead of intimacy and love, I see that you've been going a little crazy here. Things are slow moving. There's still communication, but things are slow moving on your end as well, because you're asking yourself, what's the point of reciprocating when my partner is just off doing his own thing? So you have slowed down your affection for your partner as a result of whatever your partner is going through, whether it's the external financial job issues that your partner is facing, or perhaps your partner is still having some resistance being in the partnership because he or she is very much used to being single. So as a result, you have pulled away. Now, a part of you pulling away also stems from, some form of insecurity on your end. Um, pulling away in this situation seems logical initially from your point of view. What's the point of investing in a relationship where the other party is, not even involved? Well, you see, that reaction is a defense mechanism. Okay, this reaction is a defense mechanism on your part, my pal one. And this is an unhealthy reaction because this relationship has a significant potential. Whether you're aware of it or not, pal one, you were brought together with your partner as a divine plan. We have the wheel of fortune here. It's inverted for the time being, but there is the wheel of fortune is always turning. So there is a turning point. Whatever the case is, you are meant to meet this person. And the purpose of meeting this person is so that both of you can grow. And in order to do so, you have to help one another. Now, you have to play your part. So, in the advice section, I see that there is a big potential for this relationship to start off on a good note. And it's transforming itself at the moment. Now, the key to sustaining this relationship is actually empathy and collaboration. So you have the King of Cups here and the Tree of Pentacles under your advice section. There's a slight reflection from my lights, but I hope you can see both these cards. Now, you are being tasked to learn the art of compassion in this case. Now, despite your partner so-called misbehaving, whether he's having a hard time being fully committed in this relationship, or in the other case where he's just so preoccupied with his day-to-day affairs, his jobs, handling his money, that, he has neglected that. However, his heart is still in his relationship. And your role is not to pull away, which you have done. Your role is actually to help him, and he needs to help you back in return. So there has to be this compromise where you're both helping each other. Now, your oracle card guidance from the Whispers of Healing, there is a reflection of the light again, but it's a beautiful card. Now, looking at this card, which says giving back, you realize that a relationship is really a balance of giving and taking. And that is what both of you must learn. Now, you're going to be sitting there thinking, all right, so if I'm going to emotionally support him and be the supportive person, how am I getting supported? Well, someone's got to take the first step. You're hearing this reading, you're getting advice, your partner's probably not. So you're going to take on the mental. Now I'm not saying that you're going to neglect yourself completely and just devote your entire focus onto him. What I'm saying here is that you guys are facing a challenge, right? Where something's happening externally, or it could be his own internal confusion. Whatever the case is, it's a reaction on his part. And you can be the bigger person here and step in. Instead of pulling away, which is the defense mechanism you're accustomed to, now you need to step up from this. And you're able to level up. Take the more empathetic and compassionate and charitable, point of view. With that intention, see how you can support your partner in his journey. Because the potential of this relationship is there. You have the Maiden. This is a beautiful card of a new beginning. Look at the little baby there. Now, that there are some challenges to get there. You also have the trickster card in reverse for your potential for this relationship. Now, there could be some challenges and more chaotic situations that will arise potentially. However, you have the choice to avert this. So, for my pile one, take on a more charitable approach to your relationship. You know, this is your task right now. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what would my heart respond? How would my heart respond? And your partner energetically will sense that, because both party pulling away is not going to get you guys anywhere. Okay, my pile one, I hope this reading has helped you. If you like this reading, definitely give it a like on my YouTube channel and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, my pal 2. Welcome to your reading. So today we will be asking Rishi what's going on in this connection. So for my pal 2, it appears that this relationship is not fully committed. I feel like your partner in question could be someone from the past, like an ex perhaps, or someone whom you never really got into a complete relationship with. However, I still see that you guys are communicating a little bit, if not, it's very sparse. Well, let's begin with you. You have pulled away. You feel like you're not fully committed into this. I'm looking at the spread and it feels like you were the one who somehow pulled away, either because you're not convinced that he or she, your partner, is the right partner for you, or perhaps you've moved on. But your partner, on the other hand, is still very much into you and he's grieving. So it feels like there is a lack of reciprocation on your part. You have been moving on, actually, or if you've dated other people, or for some of you, you might be having an affair. But I feel like for the most of you, you have moved on. Like you're starting to date other people. You have pulled back emotionally from this relationship, and you don't want to be part of this relationship. However, your partner in question here is very much still clinging on to this. And he or she is very much in pain. It's hard for him or her to get over this. If anything, your partner is still kind of trapped. And your partner, he or she can't really see the woods for the trees for the woods. He's just lost. All right. Now, there are a lot of things left unsaid in this relationship. There are a lot of loose ends that were not tied up. Now, if this is an ex or some kind of friends with benefit situation, you know what's not being said. I feel like for both parties, there are a lot of things left unsaid. And right now, this relationship it's not going anywhere. It's pretty much stagnant. However, there is a lot of healing from both sides. Now, your advice here from Spirit is to speak the truth. Now, you may have some unspoken feelings for this other person, and similarly with this other person, there are a lot of emotions and feelings regarding this relationship or friendship that has not been acknowledged. However, a level of truth is needed for both parties to move on. I also see that one or both parties have been very impulsive. That there's been a lot of impulsive, rash, reckless decisions and words being said in this connection here. And it is also this impulsiveness and this rash burst of emotion that is resulting in this miscommunication and things that are left unsaid, apologies that were left unsaid. There's basically a lot of loose ends that needs tying up for this relationship to resolve. Now, connections don't resolve even when the relationship ends. There is still a level of energetic connection with the other person. And it's hard for either party to move on, although seemingly on the surface it appears that you have moved on, but there's still a lot of energetic connections with respect to this relationship. So, your advice is to speak the truth. And I'm also getting the message that for a fair bit of you, the truth is actually better than it seems. That you have had it's almost as if you've had a mask of illusion, thinking that this relationship is less than what it is. But the reality is that this connection goes deeper, and that you brushing it off as an inconsequential relationship is not true. I'm hearing that this relationship is more significant than you allow yourself to acknowledge. Now, that being said, I don't see this relationship reviving. And neither do I think that this relationship it has the potential to come together as a relationship. However, the connection, the energetic connection of this relationship needs to be repaired so that both of you can integrate the lessons that are meant to be learned and progress. On your part, you pulling away from this relationship is a defense mechanism. You might have felt like he or she wasn't the right partner, and as a result, withdrew your affection. Now, because you're still deep down afraid of losing this person, you haven't completely let go. It's almost as if superficially you're like, okay, we're not officially together, but we're just friends, and I get to date other people. I'm not gonna give him all my affection, but deep down, I think you care for this person. You're just too afraid to admit it. Now, even though this relationship is probably not going to work out as a committed relationship together, I see that there is a level of friendship. There is a soul level connection. And it is your responsibility to be in your integrity as a friend, as a soul friend to your partner here in question. Because your partner is, he or she is feeling really sad. I don't know how aware you are of this, but your partner is really grieving. It's really hard for your partner to move on. And I can tell that he or she keeps trying. It's as if this person wouldn't give up. And your partner can see the truth. So it's your responsibility, as much as it's heartbreaking to tell someone that, you can't work, that you two can't work out, you gotta be honest. You need to be in your integrity and reveal the truth to your partner. Now, my pal too, I know it might be hard for you to hear this, and sometimes we don't always like the answers we get. But in this particular case, I see that you are a very strong manifester. Your intentions have huge implications. You may not be aware of this, but your actions and your intentions have long-term implications. You're a strong manifester. So you are being tasked to set this record straight here. Because the grief that your partner is going through, um, you have to help your partner get over this grief. It's taking a toll on this person in question here. And in so doing, in correcting what was left uncorrected, you will achieve healing for both of you. So for my pal too, I hope this reading resonates, and I wish you all the best. If you enjoy this reading, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to your reading. So, for my Pal 3, your partner is going through a lot at the moment, and it's spilling over to you. I think your partner is facing a lot of instability with respect to his job or his finances, or he is really feeling shaky. Things could be There could be a lot of upheaval or chaos going on in your partner's home life, and it appears that you both are in a pretty committed relationship. Most likely, you are living together. Um, you've been living together for a while, or you guys are married. This relationship has been ongoing for quite some time now, and certain external circumstances have triggered your partner, and this instability created result, whether it's from a change in the job, or in job he lost his job whatsoever, it is causing your partner a lot of distress. I'm also seeing that perhaps your partner is just having a really hard time at home. And for you, you've been doing your best to support your partner. I see that you are very giving in this relationship. In fact, over giving. I think for some of you, there might be a lot of emotional reliance on your partner. It feels like a very codependent relationship. And clearly, you are doing your best here in emotionally supporting your partner. And you have been drained, you've been over giving. And it has resulted in your life being very chaotic at the moment. I see that a lot of the chaos is happening in your day-to-day mundane world, where perhaps it's a combination of household responsibility or the kids, whatever it has been, or finances, whatever your partner is experiencing, it's spilling over. It's spilling over to you, and you can't cope at the moment. Now, as a result of his or her unhappiness, it has resulted in you being more critical. I see that you've been arguing and you've been finding fault, and you know this critical and nagging part of you is taking a toll on the relationship. For some of you, I see that you've been complaining about your partner to your friends and family. And this is not healthy, because I also see that you are magnifying the situation. Meaning, it's not as the situation probably isn't as dire or as bad as how you make it out to be. I know it might be hard for some of my pal 3 to hear this, but the cards don't always have pleasant things to say. One thing is true, though, is the card tells you what you need to hear. So if you're having now, these negative thoughts start from within yourself. So whether you're harboring these negative thoughts inside yourself, like, oh, I can do better than this, why do I have to put up with his or her bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Or you could be verbalizing this critique and criticisms to your friends and family. Either way, you're sending out this energy of dissatisfaction, whether it's through your mind space or whether it's through phone conversation with your friends and family. You are unnecessarily prolonging the animosity, and it's not helping. Your partner also has his responsibility. He's not happy, and he's not happy with what's happening externally. He's not happy with his home life. But one thing is for sure, he or she, your partner, loves you a lot. And you do too. There is a lot of love in this relationship. And it doesn't feel like the flighty, romantic kind of love. It feels like a solid love. Like the love that occurs between two parties when they have lived a significant part of their lives or gone through moments of real hardships with each other. It is it has strong foundations, the love you have for one another. And the relationship is, yeah, you guys are committed. It's pretty conventional in that way. However, both parties have been dragging their feet for some time. There is a lack of coordination and collaboration with respect to the relationship. Maybe one party is avoiding certain household responsibilities, or, taking ownership of their own emotions. Whatever it is, the problems are relatively trivial compared to the significance of this relationship. So, the advice here from Spirit is for you to get grounded first, because you're experiencing a whole lot here, and so is your partner. You're emotionally drained. You are just absolutely exhausted from your day-to-day world. You've got finances or work or household responsibilities, the kids, etc. You're overwhelmed, right? And then you've got to deal with his emotions, and he's overwhelmed with what's going on externally in his world, and then his emotions too. So both of you have to get grounded. Like, just take big step back almost and just learn to center yourself. All right. It may sound like a very cliche advice. Oh, center yourself. In this particular case, I feel like it is almost a necessity. Like if you don't have a practice where you're meditating or you spend some time alone to reflect, or even when you're working out, say if you're jogging or whatsoever, these are time of solitude when you can contemplate and get back in your own body. you know and you and your partner both need to get grounded. Don't make any impulsive decisions here. I also see that you are being advised to rekindle your love for one another. There is clearly a lot of love in this relationship. I feel like you guys may not be aware of it because it's being cluttered and compounded by all this day-to-day responsibilities, but there is love. There is love. And you both of you have to take steps towards rekindling it. It is a very strong relationship. You guys have been through a fair bit, and you guys can get through this. You have the strength card here. You're also being advised here to not argue. You have the Knight of Swords in reversed here. And the Knight of Swords energy is a very argumentative, get it very rash, say it like it is. The thought comes and the word gets blurted out. Now you're going to have to avoid this because it's a complete waste of energy. You are both so depleted from what's going on. The last thing you need is to argue. Uh, for some of you, though, and this is a minority, for some of you, you have been contemplating divorce for quite some time now because things haven't been working out. The love I mentioned earlier has turned into more of a friendship kind of love. Now, if you're in this category, your advice is to pull the plug out and not drag it out. If you're in a category where you have been contemplating leaving this person for quite some time now, the advice is it is time to let go. If you have been contemplating this for a while, because it has turned into more of a friendship and destiny has something else in store for you. But this is a very small group for my pile 3. Also, this is a general reading. So if you're going to make any big decisions, I highly suggest that you think things through. But for everyone, for all of you, the big advice here is to settle down your emotions and most importantly, to move forward. Because there is a lot of history in this relationship. Whether you're married or you're living together, whatever drama that's going on, this is relatively new chapter because this relationship runs deeper. And for the majority of you, this relationship needs to move forward. Okay, your oracle guidance, you can see this card here, is forward movement. You're being tasked to move forward in this relationship and to get over the petty differences that are arising. Now, if you're in a small category here where you have been contemplating leaving this relationship for quite some time now, your advice is to actually move on from this relationship. Okay, my pile 3. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. And if you do, please give it a like and subscribe. It will be tremendously helpful. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Paul 4. Welcome to your reading. So, I'm looking at this connection with your partner in question here, and I feel like your partner has moved on. If you are still communicating with your partner, it's moving very slowly. The connection has almost come to a complete halt, or maybe trickling. Um, on your part, I see that you still love your partner a lot, and there's a part of you that is still unwilling to let go of this connection, and you're incredibly disappointed. But there is an unwillingness for you to move on because you still have a lot of feelings for your partner. I see that you're a very giving person, you're very nurturing, and you have devoted a lot of your emotional energy into this person in question here. However, your partner has moved on. I see that your partner is currently dating other people or is actively seeking out new relationships. For some of you, I feel that your partner was never really ready to be in a relationship. I feel that he or she still enjoys being single. They might really enjoy the attention that they're getting from the other gender, and it's like a conquest to them. It's almost as if they're still at a stage in their developmental journey where they are not ready to settle down, and they're viewing relationships in a very short term frame of mind. Mm, to them, it's almost like an ego trip where they really enjoy the attention and affection that is being given to them. And similarly, for your attention. However, it's more about pleasing his or her own ego. And I also see that your partner, is just busy with his or her own life, and he or she might have some goals or ideal that they're working towards too. And as a result, because of their drive to succeed in their career or whatsoever, they don't have time. They enjoy the attention that is being given to them by you, but they don't have time for that in this moment. So it feels like things are moving very slowly. And prior to this, there seems to be some misunderstanding, perhaps an argument. There, there's a lot of confusion, though. It's as if something really messy happened, right before this. And right now, there is no direction as to where this relationship is going. It is apparent that your partner has moved on and you're still being stuck in this stagnant energy of this relationship. Now, I see that you have a lot of love to give, and I know this is going to be hard for you to hear, Pal 4, but you have been giving the love to the wrong person. You have been devoting your attention, your emotions, your nurturing energy to the wrong person. I think deep down you are aware of this because you're clearly not happy. And you know that it has come to an end, that this relationship needs to end or it has already ended, you know. And for the most of you, you're probably not communicating, but emotionally and energetically, you're not giving it up. And you need to give it up. My pal 4, I know this is hard for you to hear, but your love is not being reciprocated. Your partner might have his own agenda. For some, he might be a player. He wants to play the field, he's not ready to settle down. For some others, your partner might just be really devoted to his career or whatever journey he's on, and he just can't be there for you. I'm also seeing that for some of you, there could be some geographical barriers, and as a result, your partner is moving on. Now, I think the advice is pretty straightforward. You need to move on, my pile four. For my pile four, you need to release yourself, free yourself, free yourself, and move on. Definitely be very logical about this. You're you're drowning so much in your emotions that your mind is all messy, and you're capable of moving on, but somehow you're refusing to, and you need to start moving on. Whether you seek the help of your friends, which I'm sensing that you need the help of some of your friends here, and you gotta move on because you are wasting your time. Now, I am sensing that there is a lesson to be learned here. All is not wasted. Many things happen in our lives so we can get clear about who we are. Everything happens for a reason. And I feel like this is happening for you to realize a few things. Number one, you are worth more than you think. It's almost as if you have faulty perception where you don't value yourself enough. And as a result, you throw yourself on this person's feet when it's clear he doesn't even deserve you. He doesn't deserve you. Look at this beautiful card. There is so much love, there is so much nurturing, so much beauty you have to offer. And it's being wasted and poured away in the wrong direction. So, number one, get clear. Get very clear on your value. You need to value yourself correctly. This incorrect perception of your own self-worth is creating this situation. So this had to happen. All right, this had to happen for you to get to the point where you're like, no, I'm better than this. I'm better than this. Why do I get to put up with this nonsense? Why does this person get to move on and here I am clinging to him? No, you gotta move on. And I feel like the other lesson you are learning, is that the ability to let go. Now, self-worth is an issue in itself, is one issue, but also the ability to just move on. I feel that, letting go is one of the toughest things all of us have to experience. Whether it be letting go of someone you love who passed away, or letting go of a relationship that has stopped working, or even letting go of a way of life that is no longer the case. We always, as humans, have to learn the art of letting go. And so for my pile 4, you are being asked to learn how to let go. It's cliche to say that, everything is transient, and if you love someone, you let them go. I don't like that say. I say if it doesn't work out, let it go. And if you love someone, fight for it. But you don't love this person. This person is almost like an illusion for you to become self-aware so that you can continue to grow. So let him go, because true love is worth fighting for, and there is true love waiting for you. You just gotta move on. You've been stalling the adventures, that are lined up for you because you can't let go. So by moving on, you're preparing yourself for your next romance. And by learning more about your own self-worth, learning to recognize your value, having that integrity to support yourself, now that's going to be greatly beneficial for your future relationship that is to come. You have to find your freedom. You have to start voicing out and receiving the help from your friends. You just gotta move on, whatever it takes. You have to bring on your mind. Stop letting your emotions rule your day. Be very calm, be very calculated, and look at this from a very detached point of view. If you don't have a meditation practice or some form of well-being practice at the moment, for my Pal 4, I see that this is greatly beneficial for you. Your oracle card is Get Clear. I think that there is a lot of confusion surrounding this relationship that you're afraid to admit to yourself. I know what it feels like to hope against all hope that something will work out. And when we realize that the hope is illusory, it can be very devastating. My Pal 4, there is a future for you that calls for a better romance, a better romantic partner. It will happen as soon as you get clear. Okay, my Pal 4, go easy on yourself, and I wish you the best of luck. I know it can be hard to hear this, but sometimes, the medicine that we're being prescribed is kind of bitter sometimes. It's hard to swallow, but that's the solution that is being required of you at the moment. So I hope you enjoyed the reading, and if you do, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you